What's up, YouTube? Just a quick fragrance review for you. This is one that my wife and I picked up probably a little over a month ago on a trip to Vegas. We hit the Guerlain boutique, and you know what? I've never purchased a Guerlain. I'd smelled some at the boutique on at least one or two of our previous trips to Vegas. And you know, nothing that ever really excited me, made me feel like I needed to purchase a Guerlain. But this time we really got into smelling some of the Gourmands that they had there, the Spiritus Double Vanille, the Tonka Imperial. This particular fragrance is, man, it's great. It's fantastic, you guys. This is called Elixir Charnel Gourmand Coquin. Bottle looks pretty feminine, and that's because this stuff is marketed to women. You go to Fragrantica and you're going to see that that it says this is for women, not women and men. Don't let that throw you. Men can absolutely pull this stuff off. In fact, Mark on his top 20 winter niche actually had this at number 14. So just to talk a little bit about this stuff, some of the notes that are in it are rum, and I would say some cocoa. I would also say likely some vanilla. I would also say likely some cinnamon. And that's really a lot of what you're going to get. There's also a rose note in this, a soapy rose. And I do get that soapy rose sometimes. It's actually kind of nice. Overall, it's not a really rosy scent for the most part. It's actually really, really sweet gourmand scent. Mark described it as kind of a chocolate cake with like a rum center to it. And I mean, it really is extremely sweet. I get a ton of cinnamon out of it, a very sweet cinnamony smell. When you hear people say, things like smells like a Cinnabon, I'm not saying it smells exactly like a Cinnabon, but this is kind of the same vibe. You get a very sweet cinnamony smell. And then people who are around you are either going to catch a lot of that kind of sweet cinnamon. They might be catching little wafts of cocoa, just kind of a subtle cocoa. And like I said, at times I get a soapy rose out of it. At times I get rum. Wow, it is really nice stuff, you guys. Beautiful fragrance, and I would absolutely say the best gourmand I have ever smelled up to this point. Now, have I smelled a million gourmands? No. Do I own a million gourmands? No. But this is the best gourmand I've smelled up to this point. This is delicious. We have a bonbon of New Harlem. So for those of you who would throw New Harlem out as a as a good gourmand contender, I'm not a big fan of New Harlem, to tell you the truth. Honestly, to me, New Harlem is too thick. It's too heavy. It's too constantly in your face. And with something that's sweet, as sweet as New Harlem is, that can wear on you a little bit. It can be a little overpowering. But this stuff isn't like that. This stuff is much more airy. I'm not saying it's not thick enough. I'm not saying it's not heavy enough. I'm not saying it's super light, but it's not a thick, syrupy, constant presence. And really, I wore this today, and it got up into the 70s today here in Salt Lake. And of course I wasn't outside, the better part of the day. I was inside an air-conditioned building. I was inside, my work building. But that stuff was fine. It wasn't cloying. It wasn't too much. It's one of those fragrances that's, like I said, it's not a constant, thick, heavy presence. In fact, I've worn this at least once, where once or twice actually, where within the first 4 hours, I'm not really smelling it super well on myself, and then I'm just kind of getting wafts here and there, for several hours after that. That does not mean that this stuff has poor longevity. It does not have poor longevity. This stuff is still there. Even when you're not smelling it, other people probably are. My wife wore this probably almost 2 weekends ago. We went out to dinner, and she had this stuff on. It'd gotten to the point where she couldn't smell it on herself very well, but I was absolutely catching whiffs of it. And then even later on that night, and I'm talking 9+ hours after she had put this on, I was still smelling this stuff. So it is still there. Even if you can't smell it, it's still there. And then there are times where, absolutely I'm still smelling it plenty well enough you know, 5 hours plus, 6 hours plus into the fragrance. I think you should expect to get at least 6 to 8 hours out of this stuff. And remember, even if it gets to the point where you can't smell it super well, other people are probably still smelling it on you. Good stuff, good quality, and decent performance. And it's not that it's projecting like a bomb, you know, 6, 7, 8, 9 plus hours in. It's that the sillage is that good, and that, you know, if somebody else is wearing it, if you're wearing it, there's probably just little, you know, little wafts of it that are making it, you know, to people that are close by. Gorgeous. Delicious. This is a delicious scent. For those of you who like gourmands, you gotta check this out. Don't blind buy it. It's like $260 a bottle or something like that. So this is not something to blind buy. But check it out. Get yourself a sample of this. Go to the perfumed court or wherever you need to go to get yourself a sample. Maybe call the Vegas boutique and see if they'll send you a sample. Really nice stuff. And you know, let me know your thoughts. If you've smelled this, you know, I'd love to hear your thoughts below. Thanks for tuning in.